Hey everyone, I am Sister Lily and welcome to my memory. So, my childhood returns yet again. So this is Override, but not the Cybertron version so much as the Legacy take on them. And apart from the weapon not folding around because of the design you can see there, kind of blocking it, I honestly think this version's better. Now, I never owned Cybertron Override, so hence why I can't show her with Legacy one. But a friend of mine did, so I have memory of what playing with this thing was like. And there's plenty of images around as well, and I remember the guns on it being quite kind of wonky in their design, because they had to fold around and be able to actually fold over. Now, an easy solution that Hasbro could have put on here to make it so that the guns actually was able to actually fire would be that it was on a raised platform, so it raised up, because it doesn't do that. Let's just stick that back in there now. So Override's head's kind of just there. I mean, it does kind of look like a crown. I mean, if you painted it gold, it would look like a crown. It's a neat mould. The thing looks like, kind of reminds me of Speedrunner, that absurd racing show that has cars doing loop-the-loops and doing stuff very reminiscent of what Velocitron was in the Cybertron cartoon. I do like the Velocitrons come back. Transformers Cyberverse, during one of its flashback episodes, had Bumblebee on Cybertron with, I think, Hot Rod, on Velocitron with Hot Rod and, I think, Blur? It's a shame we never saw Override, but I mean, given the planet got consumed by rust, that's probably not a bad thing. So, in terms of the packaging, it is funky Legacy packaging. Now, interesting thing is, it doesn't actually have any other characters on it like the Legacy one does. Also, you'll notice Override doesn't have a faction symbol. Well, on the box it does. She does. On the figure, she doesn't. And I suspect that's a callback to early Cybertron series, because right up until about the Planet Cup, Override was unaligned. Even during the Planet Cup, she was unaligned. Then Megatron's forces then Ransack and Crumbles then go to steal the Planet Cup, and she's like, yeah, I don't like you people. Then Megatron actually steals the Planet Cup, and Override and Hotshot take him down. And yeah, so I find it, one thing I'm not such a fan of is the price point of this figure. This figure was $50 Australian. That is what Voyagers used to cost. This thing is the size of a deluxe. Like, it's slightly bigger than Knockout, but like, you compare it to Cybertron Crosswise / Smokescreen. I say slash because, well, Crosswise, if you were a kid in the 2000s, there are two versions of the show. There's versions that go, one version that goes up to, like, I think midway through 20 through episode, like somewhere in like episode 20 to 30, they change his name from Smokescreen to Crosswise, because they were planning on, at that point they realised, hey, we're going to release a recolor in G1 colour scheme called Smokescreen. So they chose to name the figure Crosswise. The fun of dubbing issues, like there were times when characters were dubbed by different voice actors. Dubbing can always be a bit of a wonky thing. It can be fun though. Kind of sad there isn't a Legacy TV series. I mean, Legacy very much has been a its own thing, and I'm not sad about that. I'm sick of G1. I'm not a G1 fan. But I'm sure even some of the G1 fans are kind of sick of the exact same thing being done again and again and again. I'm sad that Combiner Wars happened and we barely got anything from non-G1 eras. Like, there was a repaint of there was a repaint of the Combaticons to have them be Ruination Team from RID, and I don't think that even got an Australian release. Mind you, Australian releases, Legacy's been the first line that seems to have come out in Australia first. But yeah, in terms of size comparison, you see her with Cybertron Series Deluxe versus Legacy Deluxe. Let's just pull them out. Like, you see them together. Cybertron Voyager versus Legacy Voyager. Cybertron Ultra Class, or at least I think it was Ultra Class, it might have been Leader, but the other Leader, let's just fold his things around. Oh, his gun's in the box. Oh well. I remember Scattershot, I love in the episode 52, which was basically a retelling of episode 1 of Cybertron, where Scattershot calls out Prime for having a fire truck with giant cannons. But yeah, that's kind of how she scales. One thing that's worth mentioning, cyberkeys. It physically can slot into there, but there's nothing really to keep it staying in. This can do it from what I remember of Metroplex. I haven't got it because $300 and something, I don't think so. I'll wait till it's maybe $150. But yeah, donk, 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 donk. Anyway, on to the transformation. In terms of one other bot that I forgot to share, was the only other previous Autobot, female Autobot, from the Unicorn trilogy. Who is RC? Because RC was a motorcycle long before the live action movies. Honestly, I prefer her as a motorcycle. Her alt mode she actually transforms without monumental amounts of kibble that, like, sure, there's still kibble, but it's not a whole alt mode just sitting on her back in a backpack. Anyway, on to the transformation. And so she's in her robot mode. Now, I don't think I missed a step, but I might have. So I just had the gun on her back because it was out of her way, but the gun can attach either onto there or very loosely onto her arm, because there's the hexagonal pin on the side. Now you can attach it like that, and then you could either swing those out like that, or you could remove them and do it. The little fin things can be angled in whatever way you want. In terms of pivoting, you can see she's got full 360 wrist swivel, can bend like that at the elbow. It's got this hinge here, hinge goes like that, hinge can do it, shoulder can turn like that. In terms of legs, you've got that much kind of pivot, like the leg can go from that to that, and then it can swing round. If the backpack wasn't in the way, it would be able to swing more. Like with a cannon this big, it's kind of hard to pose it. I say that as a cosplayer who poses with big props. Like, you can have her like that, but it makes it look like she's handling it in a wonky way. So I'll grab my Cybertron figures and show you in terms of scale. So here she is with some Scout class figures. These retailed for about $15 back in the day. Yeah, you can see how much smaller than her they are. Here she is with Cybertron line deluxes that I could find amongst my collection. And amongst the stuff I've got here, I might have used more than one of them. There might be an extra one that I used at the start of the video that isn't shown, but yeah. So you can very much see she is on par with a deluxe in terms with a 2004 era deluxe in terms of size. I mean, she kind of feels crappy that she cost $50 instead of what the legacy ones cost, which was around $40. But then I'll compare her to the legacy ones because there is a bit of a difference. So, legacy deluxe are small. Like, you can see crosswise smokescreen there. He's about kind of the same size as Knockout. Also, there's a step I missed with transforming Knockout. You turn the wheels and you can actually pose his feet properly, which is neat. You see Hotshot with them. Also, new Hotshot coming out next year for Armada, so I am going to have a Hotshot, oh come on, Hotshot Bonanza or something like that video at some point. I mean, my Transformers videos do interestingly on my channel. I'll get out the next class. Here's how she compares with various Voyagers. We've got Bulkhead from the earlier Legacy line. We've got Cybertron Defense Scattershot. We've got Evac. Ah, the joy of Evac. This is technically my second Evac, because the one that my friend got me as a kid for my birthday was defective, and we had to get a replacement. The head would stick because there was something wrong with the internal slot mechanism. Kind of glad they changed things so that doesn't happen as much these days. And we have Starscream from the 2-pack that came with him in a Vector Prime. Wish I'd got that 2-pack. Would have meant I had a Vector Prime. I'd love to have Vector Prime. And then we have her with, I think, Ultra Class and Leader Class. Although admittedly Optimus is naturally a bit closer to this size when you haven't got him with platforms and a backpack. Yeah, that's what $90 used to get you. I miss those days. Admittedly, I only really got one figure of that that price every so often. That was a Christmas present, if not Christmas and birthday present. That I bought for myself. Energon Prime, birthday present. Omega Supreme, a very lucky birthday Christmas present, because my grandmother found it. Well, my grandmother and I found it in Maya for half off. Yeah, $100 figure for $50 back in 2004. Yeah, we're talking Energon Omega Supreme, not G1. Sorry guys, not a G1 fan. But yeah, anyway, back to talking about Override. But yeah, anyway, let's actually get one out of the shot. So Override. Would I say to get this figure? Maybe. It is expensive. I would honestly suggest, if you can find it on sale, do so. Do not pay eBay prices unless they are lower than RRP. I look at the pricing I see on Scourge and then at the price he costs at Kmart and I'm like, yeah, I'll get him through Kmart. But I don't know when that'll be. Might be a birthday thing. We see the back, it's kind of just boring. I still feel like there should be a lift up panel to allow the gun to be usable in vehicle mode, but that's just me. That being said, it is a $50 figure. But yeah, basically the timing with when my friend found this coincided with ticket pre-orders for Crunchyroll Expo, only for, and I ended up paying for this instead of immediately paying for CRX, only for and at the same time I was also waiting on my PayPal clearing a payment to re-enable it, and yeah, I missed out on tickets to Crunchyroll Expo that would have cost the same as this figure. Admittedly, looking back at what happened with LineCon 2022, I am not sad I missed that con. The weather was terrible, and management of it, from what I heard off the people who went, wasn't particularly good. It also coincided with a cheerleading event, because of course let's have a cheerleading event the same day as a convention, and of course the event organisers didn't book the entire venue out, which they probably could have. They could have booked the whole venue out and done what PAX normally does, and I think what MadFest did do in previous years. Anyway, enough of me rapping on a convention that I spent the money for the entry for on this instead. And yeah, Override. It's a decent enough figure. Do I think it's worth $50? No. It's good. It's not $50 good. I mean, I say that as a Warhammer player, which is a bit stupid because of the amount Warhammer costs. Like, she is kind of about the size of a deluxe from back in 2004 or 5, which I find kind of sad. Also, Snarl and his gimmick being he has teeth. He have teeth. Cybertron, you had such weird gimmicks sometimes. I mean, Override has a gun that's useless that's only useful as a shield in the series unless you plug a cyberkey into it. Like, it is a shield, if that. Like, it's a brick. It's a brick. It's a brick that is on her arm that can become a gun, or is speed boosters. But yeah, in the words of Arcee herself,
I don't care if either one of you belongs to some evil organization. I just want to know if you can beat me in a race or not.
Thanks for watching. Bye.